very good afternoon. You've tuned into E now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Cheryl D'Souza. Along with me, I have Vinny Motiwala. A very good afternoon to you, Vinny. And another day of good gains, healthy gains coming from markets. Remember, yesterday's move was aided by Reliance Industries, but today you can see the markets actually show a good strength, and it's not Reliance Industries that's leading the gains on the Nifty. We are inching towards the record high levels once again. We were around that 19,700 mark for the benchmark indices. There are a lot of stocks that are moving in trade, a lot of new stocks that are at lifetime highs, but we have an action-packed show lined up for all of our viewers, isn't it?
Absolutely, and on that note, let's get started with all those stocks that are buzzing in trade. And on the technicals today, we're joined by Kunal Bothra, while from the research team, we have Mamakshi as well as Lisa joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of you all, and good afternoon to you as well, Cheryl. And I'm going to be starting with the first stock that is in focus, and let's talk about Gujarat Pipavav. We have the volume numbers that have come in from Gujarat Pipavav, and that's why we saw that the share price of Gujarat Pipavav port gained as much as 2 to 3% in trade intraday today. As of now, I'm also holding on to these gains, and what we see in terms of there's a rise in the container volumes for the June quarter. The port registered a container volume of 1,91,000 versus just 1,87,000 approximately was there, something in the last quarter, last year as well. So yes, a sharp jump up over there. The dry bulk volume also actually saw a slight bit of a decline over there, 0.67 million metric tons versus 0.93 million metric tons. But all in all, the volumes over there, when you look at it, have seen a bit of an increase there, and that is why in terms of overall, we're seeing the stock price is also giving a thumbs up to that volume number that has come in from Gujarat Pipavav.
Alright, let's shift focus and once again put the spotlight on entire defense pack, be it Bharat Dynamics, be it Mazagon Dock, be it Cochin Shipyard. All of these counters are seeing a sharp up move in today's trading session. You have reports that the Ministry of Defense, or rather we know that the Ministry of Defense has cleared the procurement of 26 Dassault Rafale marine fighters ahead of Prime Minister's visit to France on Thursday. Also, Mazagon Dock shipbuilders, Bharat Dynamics, as well as Cochin Shipyards were among the top gainers on Nifty 500 as well. Also, not just that, you also know that they are going to look to procure. Actually, the Defence Procurement Board has also given its approval to acquire 3 Scorpine or Calvary class submarines, which will be built at Mazagon Dock, and that's the reason why you're seeing the stock see an uptick of about 10% in today's trading session. The contract value for these 3 additional submarines is expected to be somewhere around 20,000 to 22,000 crore rupees. This is what ICICI Securities mentioned in a note. So following this news, Mazagon Dock is locked in the upper circuit of 10%. It's reached a lifetime high as well in today's trading session. And also you had the ICICI Securities note say that, like I mentioned, that the contract will help Mazagon Dock improve its order book, which declined the year 2022-23, that is April to March, as compared to last year. So yes, because of this particular development, you can see defense is on a tear, quite literally.
Absolutely, but let's move on and talk about IDFC First Bank, because this has been on a tear for the longest period of time as well. And just now when I was looking at just the numbers in terms of how the stock has moved, 136% in the last 1 year is the up move we're seeing, just from 33 rupees to 82 rupees in 1 year. And Kunal, that's the stock that you're going to talk to us about first, right?
Well, yes, Vinny, and IDFC First Bank has been in the news flow as such over the last 1 or 2 weeks, and most of the last 1 or 2 week trends for the stock has been more sideways. But today, for example, I think we're seeing finally a breakout coming out of this trading range for IDFC First Bank, and that's one of the major reasons for highlighting the stock, because we've seen time and again that when a stock goes into a very strong rally mode, and then for a couple of weeks if the stock remains or into consolidation, we expect a strong breakout to happen. So today could be actually a breakout day for IDFC First Bank. The stock is trading above the 82 level. I would believe that the near-term prospects looks very attractive for the stock, and would expect 88 to 90 as the nearest target for IDFC First Bank. So traders who are looking out for a breakout candidate as well as looking to buy the private sector banking names, especially the mid-cap end, I believe IDFC First Bank could be a good bet at current level.
All right, IDFC First Bank could be a good bet at current levels. And Kunal, while you were talking about IDFC First Bank, I was just telling Vinny the fact that you had definitely spotted this particular counter way back when it initially started seeing that breakout, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the stock was at 50-54 levels.
Yes, exactly. So that is IDFC First Bank, and Kunal still giving a thumbs up for that one.
Absolutely. Kunal still giving a thumbs up for that one. But let's move on and talk about the next one. And Vamakshi, IFGL Refractories. Why is this one in focus today? What's the news flow here?
Well, Vinny, this stock is in focus as the company has announced that the Industrial Promotion and Investment Corporation of Odisha has given an approval to set up a new manufacturing facility to the company. Now, this new plan, the company has highlighted, is a part of the overall growth strategy of the company in order to meet the expected growth of the domestic Indian steel sector. Now, this project is worth almost 150 odd crores is what the company will be spending towards it. And on the back of this positive news flow, we do have IFGL Refractories in focus. The stock, after the announcement came in, has surged by almost 9% today. So on the back of that, watch out for this counter.
All right, that is IFGL that is surging in today's trading session. There's another counter that is a buzz in today's trading session, and that is PCBL, erstwhile Philip Carbon Black. Lisa, tell us, why is this one in focus in today's trading session?
Cheryl, Philips Carbon, it's on fire. The stock, it ran up around 9%, touching its not only a 50-week high, but it also touched a record high of around 178 per share. And the reason being that the company has commissioned its the plant at its Mundra facility, and this is for its specialty chemical expansion plant. Well, the initial capacity expansion is for 20,000 metric tons per annum, and after the completion of the expansion program, the capacity that can go up to 40,000 metric tons per annum. Brokerages, analysts, they are quite bullish on the stock. Nuvama has given a buy rating on the stock at around 176 per share, which the stock has already, it has completed that session. It has touched that 176 level. And even credit analysts, they had come out with a report on the stock last month. They said that the company's financial risk that is expected to remain strong, and this is amidst the healthy flow generation. So the company said that with the capacity expansion, it will cater to the existing customers as it will create new opportunities for them. And on the back of this development, we can see PCBL, it's surging in trade today, and it's up around 6% as we speak.
Absolutely, keeping an eye out on that one. But let's move on and talk about another bank. And Kunal, one more bank making your list is Canara Bank. Now, when you look at it in the last 6 months, it's remained quite a bit in the range and not much of a sharp move as much as we saw coming in for Canara Bank before. Now, what are the charts indicating for this one? Will it continue to stay in that range of 270 to 330, or should we expect a sharp run up?
So in the last 1 month, or in fact in the start of the month of July, end of the month of June, the stock was at sub 300 levels. That was the point where the stock was consolidating, and frankly, the indicators were absolutely listless or in a neutral zone for Canara Bank. But start of the month of July, you're seeing a completely different texture for this PSU bank. The stock has moved up from sub 300 levels to now 330 plus mark. It's consolidating at a much higher territory. It's very close towards a 7 or 8 month breakout for itself. The entire PSU banking basket is now looking a lot more attractive than what it was maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months back. So all of that is extremely positive for a stock like Canara Bank. And one of the major reasons for highlighting the stock is because of the way the stock has moved up in the last, I think, 8 to 10 trading sessions. It indicates that there is a bigger rally in play for Canara Bank. So my sense is that the stock, which is perched at 334 levels on the spot basis, could be good enough for a target of 360, which should be a further upside of at least 8 to 10% for Canara Bank.
Okay, keeping an eye out on Canara Bank and those levels over there. But Cheryl, we have those agrochemical names that are in focus today, whether a UPL, PI, Industry, Sumitomo Chemicals, Rallis. All these are in focus. Why? Because we have the global agrochemical company, that is FMC, which is the 5th largest agrochemical company globally. They have actually cut their guidance. And, because of this cut, that indicates that maybe that is a worry that could come in for the Indian companies as well, and that is why we're seeing all these stocks that are falling in trade today. Now, what has happened over here? Why have they cut the guidance? Is one, there's a high inventory build-up that is there in the generic agrochemicals business, while the prices have also fallen by 30% to 70% YOY. They're seeing a considerable challenge in terms of the near-term pricing over there, volumes for generic activity in active ingredients as well. Now, what it means for Indian companies is that the earnings could be impacted even beyond Q1 FY24. And obviously, UPL, Rallis, Sumitomo, PI, all these are some of the players that are there in this agrochemical industries, as well as PI Industries has 5% of CMS revenues that could be impacted as well. So because of this, we're seeing all these stocks tanking in trade today as much as around 2% or more than 2%.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Bharti Airtel, and this particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. It was a buzz as well. You have CLSA that has come out with a note on Bharti Airtel where they are maintaining a buy stance on the company. They're saying the stock, since the company has been boosting its capabilities in the cloud services with growing partnerships. They've also set the target price of around 1,030 rupees per share for Bharti Airtel, which indicates about 16% higher than the company's current market price. According to CLSA, India's cloud market is worth about $6 billion and is likely to triple in the next 5 years to about $17.8 billion. And Bharti Airtel subsidiary Nextra targets to triple their data center capacities to over 400 megawatts by 2025. And on back of that, you have Bharti Airtel that's gaining for a fifth consecutive session. It's hit its record high levels as well in today's trading session.
Out on Bharti Airtel. But let's move on and talk about Eicher Motors. Why is Eicher Motors in focus today? We have a note that is coming from ICICI Securities, and it is what they've done is they've upgraded the stock. So we're seeing the stock running trade as well, and they've upgraded the stock to a buy rating from a previous add rating. And what they're saying is that they believe that there's a steep reaction that was unwarranted as the premium two-wheeler vehicle market in India itself is going to be expanding further. So it's not much of a worry that Eicher is going to be facing in terms of competition coming in for them as well. And they still are quite positive on Eicher Motors. They believe there are rising alternatives as well, which Eicher Motors could work out well for them as well. And that is why they're quite positive on the stock. We've seen a sharp run-up coming in Eicher Motors. It's the highest levels, I believe, since the month of May that we've seen for Eicher Motors as of now. So let's keep an eye out on this one. Trading with gains of around 2.3% as of now.
All right, that's Eicher Motors seeing the biggest gain since May. But Kunal, ICICI Securities has gone ahead and upgraded this particular counter. Are you also keeping your faith reposed in Eicher Motors? You believe that it is time to take or make use of the dip that this particular counter has witnessed over the last few weeks?
It's exactly the thought process, Cheryl, because rarely do we see that stocks like Eicher Motors, they generally don't participate in a very strong rally which is going on for the entire auto pack. Now, one of the major indicators major analysis which you look out for is the contrarian analysis, where when stocks enter into deep oversold territory. What has happened is over the last 1 or 2 weeks of the selling for Eicher Motors, the stock has fallen more than 300 to 400 points. In that process, the indicators have come back into deep oversold territory for Eicher Motors. I think at 3,200 on the low the stock had made yesterday or day before, the stock had been on the verge of breaking below the 3,200 mark. So this could be a very strong indication, with indicators oversold, the stock making a slight comeback and establishing a support zone of 30,200. The risk reward could be favorable, but this is only for traders who have a time frame of at least 1 to 3 months. So traders who have more of a medium-term kind of a time frame could look to buy Eicher Motors at current levels, and if the contrarian analysis sets in, the stock can come back towards 3,600, 3,650 mark in that kind of a time frame.
All right, so that is Kunal's take coming in on Eicher Motors. But Vamakshi, Keval, Kiran, why is this particular counter in focus in today's trading session? Positive news flow surrounding it?
Is in focus on the back of an initiating coverage report that has come in from Antique. They have initiated coverage on this stock with a buy rating. They've also gone ahead, given a target price of 805 per share. Let's look at the factors that they've highlighted for this rating. Antique has said that the brand extensions as well as category expansions are reinforcing its core positioning. They have accelerated store expansion, which in turn could drive growth for this counter. Other than that, the balance sheet, the fundamentals look quite strong for this counter, and in fact, they're expecting a re-rating to come for this stock as far as the valuations are concerned. They also see accelerated retail expansion at nearly 20% CAGR, which is higher than their 5-year average of almost 11%. So all in all engines firing for this counter, and it comes as no surprise as Antique has initiated coverage on this counter with a buy rating, and that is the reason why the stock is up and away in trade today. As of now, the stock is holding with gains of around 7.5%.
Okay, let's move on and talk about CarTrade because this one is buzzing in trade as well. It's seeing gains of almost 18-19% in trade today. And Lisa, what is the main reason for this one being in focus and why is it buzzing in trade?
Yes, so CarTrade, it's right now it's trading up around 18%, and the reason being that it has planned to acquire OLX India's arm business, that is auto business. It's Sobek Auto, and it will be acquiring it at around 537 crore. This will be for 100% shareholding of Sobek Auto. Now, the acquisition, it bodes very well with CarTrade's objective of offering synergistic benefits to its existing business. So all in all, it's a very good opportunity, and it's a good step that CarTrade has taken for its business. And if I look at the turnover of Sobek Auto, it's impressive because if I look at the financials, the revenue has risen to 592 crore in FY21, but in FY22 it has jumped around 87% on year-on-year basis. So we can see CarTrade is trading at an intraday high of around 575 as we speak.
That's CarTrade for you. That is soaring in trade today. But Kunal, AB Fashion, what's the chart telling you about this particular counter? But given the fact that there have been a lot of faith reports in this particular stock, it's absolutely done nothing if you look at the way how the performance has been over the last 6 months at least.
October, November 2022, the stock was at 350, 360 levels, if I'm not wrong. And in the last 7-8 months of price trend for ABFRL, the stock has fallen from 350, 360 levels to I think at one point sub 200. Now, sub 200 levels, I indicated on one of the shows that the stock is forming a bullish RSI divergence on the daily as well as on the weekly charts. Now, this could be a strong strong indication that a bottom formation process would start to kick in into the stock price. We've seen the stock moving up higher from sub 200 levels to now to 15 to 20 odd mark. I believe that this is going to be a stock which could gradually move up higher. So over the next 3 to 6 months, my sense is that ABFRL should at least come back towards 240 to 45 mark, consolidate further, and then possibly in the next 1 to 2 years, I'm expecting the stock to come back towards 350 plus levels. So for a patient investor, I think this could be a good time to start accumulating ABFRL at current levels. And with a time horizon of 12 months plus, I would look out for 350 as a potential target for the stock.
All right, moving on, let's talk about Vedanta, and this particular counter is in focus in today's trading session. It has snapped actually a 3-day gaining streak as well on an intraday basis. At one point in time, you had Vedanta that was down approximately by 2%. Foxconn on Monday actually said that it was pulling out of a joint venture with the company which was set up actually to go ahead and make semiconductors in India. Foxconn did not specify any reason for quitting the joint venture, while Vedanta on its part said that it's fully committed to the semiconductor fab project and it has lined up other partners to set up India's first foundry. This is what the company said in the statement. They also said in a quote that we have the license for production grade technology for 40 nanometers from a prominent integrated device manufacturer, end of quote. So this is what Vedanta had to say. But however, the stock is actually down in trade, 1.5% decline after Foxconn has actually pulled the plug on that JV.
Let's move on and talk about the next one. At stock number 14, that's going to be BHEL on the charts. And Kunal, this one has doubled almost in the last 1 year. So in terms of now the indication that you're getting on the technical front for BHEL, what should one be expecting?
So yes, it's doubled in the last 1 year, but then when you look at this in terms of the price comparison with most of the PSUs, somehow the stock has lagged behind. But I believe that it's trying to play a catch up over here. The volumes, the way the stock participation has happened in the last two trading sessions from 85, 84 levels to now 90 to 93 plus mark where the stock is trading. There is a definite change of trend as well as momentum for BHEL. Now, my sense is that in this leg of uptrend, the stock should come back towards that 100 plus mark, which could be at least a 3 to 3.5 odd year high for BHEL. So the potential is extremely strong this time around for the stock. And my belief is that even from a short-term play, the stock could surpass the 3-digit mark. 100 is the immediate target which I would eye on BHEL. But as I said, that it's a strong catch-up play with respect to most of the other PSU peers. So if this catch up fructifies, then even the stock can climb up significantly above the 100 level.
All right, that is the take coming in on BHEL. Groww Capital, Vamakshi, this one is also seeing a good uptick in today's trading session. What's the reason behind such a move?
That is definitely gaining in the trading session today, and that is coming in after the company reported its Q1 update, that is for the operational update that they've come out with, and they have reported a growth of almost 86% on a year-on-year basis. As far as their AUM is concerned, the AUM has risen by 86% and stands at around 6,794 odd crores. Other than that, we're also seeing a sequential, that is a quarter-on-quarter growth of almost 12% as far as the AUM is concerned. Gross loans originated stood at 2,036 crores, an uptick of 50% on a year-on-year basis, and their off AUM proportion also increased to 43% from 40%, and this in turn the management has highlighted is on track to achieve the stated business target of nearly 50% of off-book AUM proportion. Now, profit after tax for the first quarter, the management is estimating it to be in the range of 22 to 24 odd crores, which is, when we compare it to the same quarter last year, nearly 270% higher. Other than that, the collection efficiency also continues to remain range-bound for Q1, which is quite a positive for discounters. So on the back of that positive news flow, we have Groww Capital in focus. The stock is up and away nearly 4% in trade as we speak.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that one. But let's move on and talk about another mover in trade today, and that is Sanghvi Movers. Lisa, why is this one in focus today? What is the news flow that you have coming into Sanghvi Movers?
Order win, Vinny. They have won 150 crore order win from eminent independent power producers, and this is from the renewable energy sector. So the company said that the company will, which is a leading crane rental service company, they will be providing WTG service logistic, that is wind turbine generating services, intercarting installation as well as pre-commissioning of WTGs, and also development of wind farm as well as storage yard. The contract is valid for a period of 18 months starting from April 2023, and out of the total contract value, 41% that will be executed in this fiscal and the balance will be executed for the next year. And the company said that it will enable Sanghvi Movers to increase their power production capacity by 539 megawatts. Now, following this, the volumes, nearly 4 lakh shares were exchanged at both the exchanges compared to the monthly average of around 2 lakh. And that is why we can see Sanghvi Movers, it has cooled down, but it was up around 3% in trade today.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Sanghvi Movers and why that one is in focus in today's trading session with Kunal. Som Distilleries, I've actually rarely seen you talk about this counter, and what a move in the last 6 months. As you can see, the chart on the screen is 168% up move in the last 6 months. Do you think that there is more scope for an upside?
It looks like, because this seems to be a very clean kind of a breakout on the charts for Som Distilleries. The stock was, I think if I'm not wrong, just about closer to 30 or 40 rupees in 2020, and from there it's now gone into a strong momentum mode. And you'll be surprised to know that on the quarterly charts, this is the 7th or the 8th straight quarter of positive gains for the price of Som Distilleries, which means that it's not that the stock has been trending off late, but it's a stock which has been trending over the last 2.5 odd years, looking at the price charts. And now the volumes have started to show signs of strong activity, which means that the buying flow has started to increase for Som Distilleries. This is actually a very good sign for the stock, trading at a multi-month, multi-year high, trading with strong gains on quarterly charts, extremely strong volumes for the stock price. It looks very attractive, and this seems to be now a strong case of a multi-year breakout for Som Distilleries. So we'll be bullish on the stock and would look out for targets closer to the range of 350 to 380 over the very near to medium term.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Som Distilleries. Let's talk about Elecon Engineering, and this one has actually hit a record high in today's trading session. And guess what, Vinny? Earnings season is here. Finally, earnings season is here. So yes, on back of spectacular earnings in the quarter gone by, Elecon Engineering is actually hit its record high levels. At one point in time, the stock actually saw an up move as much as 18%, biggest intraday move coming in for the stock since July 25th, 2022. The company has reported about 72.4% jump in the Q1 net profit, and a 26.4% in their revenue in the quarter gone by. And the two segments of the company, that's transmission equipment as well as material handling equipment, both of them saw their consolidated revenue rise by 26.6 and 25.5% year-on-year growth respectively. Apart from that, you have also the company approved incorporation of their unit Elecon Middle East FZCO Dubai as well. So on back of the spectacular earnings as well as other corporate announcements, you can see that Elecon Engineering seeing good run, record high levels touched today, 11.8% up right now.
Absolutely, what a up move coming in on that one. But let's move on, and we're going to actually sip into a very short break, viewers. But as we go into the break, we spoke to the management of IRB Infra, and in terms of rising in the economic activity, where does he see the toll collections moving on from here on? Let's go across and listen into the management as we sip into a break.
If you see on year-on-year basis, we have grown almost 18% on the toll collection. And always the third and fourth quarter is very crucial, and which is affected, which has a higher toll collection. So comparing with the fourth quarter, there is no comparison with the fourth quarter, which we see that on a sequential basis there will not be growth, but on the YOY basis there will be a growth, and which is reflecting due to higher economic activities, which we are seeing in the reported GST toll collection by government as well. In our projects, if you see, almost 18% growth have been seen in Mumbai, Pune, which is the largest toll contributing asset for us. Other projects have also delivered a good growth of 10 to 11% with a tariff hike of 5%, which was started from say April 23 itself. So the collections are quite robust, and we see for the rest of year, due to higher economic activity, the toll collections are bound to improve in the coming quarters as well.
Tip check.